What's up, YouTube family? This is Jeff with a little bit of everything home services, coming to you with another video. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the difference between a drill driver and a impact driver. Alright, so listen family, this is an impact, this is a drill driver. They are used for two different things. How do you know the difference between the two? Just in this Makita, I have them, like I said, I have the Makita with me right now. I'm actually off today. I'm not working, and I figured I use this time to shoot a few videos that I've been trying to get to. So I'm using the equipment that I have in the house. I have the Makita in my house. I have, like I said in another video, I have my Rigid in my truck. I have my DeWalt in my van. So I use a variety, and I have Milwaukee too. So I have a variety of different tools for different things. But what I have found is I like to have the right tool for the right job. And why I have different ones, like I have a long line of Rigid just because I have a lot of Rigid batteries. Then I built my Makita, and I have Makita batteries. And then I had DeWalt, of course. So overall, I get the tool that I need for the job, and I go from there. So anyway, all right, so the difference between the two, family, if you look at the drill driver, I just did I have another video about explaining how to use a drill driver, so you can look at that. But telling the difference, on the drill driver, you have to screw the head off here to loosen up the bit. For a driver, you just push it in and it locks. You don't have to screw anything. And a driver, this right here, family, the drill driver is used for driving screws into, whether it's drywall, wood, concrete. That's what it's for. That's what the drill driver is for. It's used to drill and screw in screws and drive into concrete and different things like that. That's the purpose of a drill driver. The purpose of a impact, family, is to it's for metal. That's the main reason that I use it for. It's heavily used in the trades for heating and air, you know, electrical, a lot of different, I mean, all the trades use them, but you know the difference between the two. Now, what I hate to see, family, someone using the wrong tool and the wrong application. And for that example, what I mean by that, tell your husbands out there, get them what they need. If they won't go get it, don't use a drill driver if you're trying to take out screws on metal. If you're using it on the air conditioning unit or anything like that, don't use this. Don't be cheap. I mean, not that these are cheap. These are not cheap tools by any means. But you want to use the right tool for the right job. And I want to show you the difference. You can hurt your hand, your wrist, if you're using the drill driver on metal and try to drive metal things in. Onto like units like air conditioning or whatever, you can fracture your wrist, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. That's why this baby is here, and they have them in different sizes. I got this impact driver this size. I have another impact driver that's smaller. I have this smaller impact driver right here. That's and it's an impact. I did a video on this Makita right here, and it's an impact driver. It's just a smaller version of it. So no matter if you're going to a 18 volt, a 12 volt, depending on the brand, a 8 volt, you know, no matter what size you're going to, family, still use the right tool for the right application. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by that. All right, so let's go over here, and I'm going to show you what happens when you use a drill driver and screw in a screw, and then when you try to use an impact driver to screw in a screw. And then I'm going to show you in the wood. Then I'm going to show you what's going to happen when you try to do it in the metal into an air conditioning unit. So let's go. Okay, family, I'm going to do it. This is a very simple example. This, again, I've showed in another video, is just a screw, just a drywall screw. I am going to use the drill driver to screw in, to drive this screw into this wood. All right, so there you go. All right, so, and I have it on a screw setting right here at the top, and I have my torque up at 13. Let's drop it down. I don't need it up at 13. It's just an example. So I'm going to drop it down to 7. All right. So what happens when I drive this screw into this wood using this drill driver? Voila, screws in, no problem, right? All right, let's take it out. Now let's do the same thing with the impact. All right. Putting all kind of holes in my wood here. All right, so I'm going to drive this into here. It goes really fast. You see that? Now, and you hear that? And that's going to drive it in there. It's not going to have a problem driving in there. But it's at a really uncontrollable speed. And it'll work. You can do it if you're trying to work with it, but you got to be careful. So it does better when it's a nut and driver. But overall, when it gets to a certain depth, now it's not going anymore. You just stripped it as far as that's as far as it'll go, and it won't drive into anything else. There we go, got it back out of there. But this is not the correct application. Yes, you can use it, but that's not. And not only that, this screw is hot in my hand. So what can happen? You can snap this screw using the impact at the speed, because the impact doesn't screw in. The drill driver drives that screw in a screwing speed. This impact is at a much higher speed, and I don't care if I touch it lightly, it's still at a higher speed compared to that. All right, now let's do the vice versa to that. Let's go over here. All right, let's go over here to this air conditioning unit. Well, it's not an air conditioning unit, it's a furnace. Okay, family, so this is my 1/4" bit that I'm going to use. So first of all, let's try it on the incorrect application. Let's try it using the drill driver, and I have it on the screw, on the same screw setting there. So let's do this and see what happens. Okay, so it's coming out. See that? I don't know if you can see it, but it comes out no problem. See that? It came out. Now let's screw it in. Let's get it back in there. It's going to come out, and it does work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but it's not the correct application, and you will see why. And if I was on a bigger unit, this is these small screws. If I was on a bigger unit, you would really see the difference. I'm screwing it in. All right, I gotta turn up the torque to get in there. But see, it snaps. It snaps your hand. And let's try. Let me put it on another one so you see a better example. Let's go up higher to another screw. It's coming out, and it's out. You see that? Now let's put it back in. And this is not the best example because this is such a larger drill. Yep. It's just, and it stops. You can use it, like I said, but it's not the right intended purpose. Now I'm going to show you. Let's use a smaller version, because I work with larger equipment, and I see it all the time. If I'm working with larger equipment and you try to use that, you'll get that snap motion. Like here, this is a screwdriver. Just like the screwdriver function on that drill driver, it's still a screwdriver. So watch what happens, family. It comes out no problem, and then it'll go in no problem. But see that jerking motion it just made? Let's loosen it back up. All right, it's out now. Screwing it back in, screw it in, and that jerk, it just jerked my wrist. All right, so imagine using, this is a small Oops, sorry about that. This is just a small drill. You know, so that's what happens on larger equipment. That's exactly what happens. And then you got people in the trade, you can hurt yourself. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when you use a driver, an impact driver. Alright, so when I'm using an impact, these little screws, I don't need all this torque like on this impact, but watch this. Came out with ease. And putting it back in, you see that noise it made? Quickly came into contact, quickly screwed in, and stopped. It made that sound. That's to let you know that the screw is tight. Now let's use a smaller one. Same thing. This is still a smaller impact drill. So this is the small Makita impact drill. And let's take it out. Came out. No problem. Let's put it back in. See, did the same thing. That's that noise, noise you get to let you know this. Now you don't supposed to sit there and just go. But the one of the things that the drill driver can do is strip out those screws as well. If you ever gone on a unit and you have those screws that are all stripped out, or you own something in metal and it's all stripped out, it's because they were using they were using a drill driver, and it was too much. It's just not the right design, and it stripped the screws, or they sat there with an impact and went trying to make sure it's extra tight, and you don't have to do that. But anyway, family, not to drag the video on and on and on and on, I just want to show you the difference between a impact driver and a drill driver, and remember to use the right tool for the right application. All right, family. Thank you for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.